It's crazy. It's like a fog of water coming down. It's amazing. A great way to end our Oregon trip. Is that scary? We are headed towards home after this is our 15th day on the road.
Any luck, we'll be sleeping in our own beds tonight, if all goes according to plan.
After traveling along Oregon's entire coast for the last 1.5 weeks, we head inland for more adventure. Join us for our last full day in Oregon, where we learn interesting and intriguing things about this beautiful state, and some are even a little scary. We also hike to one of Oregon's top waterfalls and once again have a magical place to ourselves before our trip is cut 1 day short. We left Astoria behind us and passed many logging trucks, logs, and even drove over the Columbia River again as we traveled a few hours southeast. We even found a stowaway who had tagged along for the journey. Disgusting mosquito we brought with us. I just smacked it from Fort Stevens. And there's mosquitoes everywhere. Disgusting. Oregon is the largest softwood lumber and plywood producer in the country, and nearly half of the state is forested land. Entering Washington. We're in Washington again. Whoa, look at all those logs. Where are we headed, David?
Bigfoot Museum.
And what city are we driving to?
Boring, Oregon.
Boring, Oregon.
North American Bigfoot Center. Stop here. Discover the legend. See the giant.
We stopped in boring Oregon, the most exciting place to live, to check out the North American Bigfoot Center, which was anything but boring. So this footprint was found near the branch breaks outside of Sequim, Washington. Is that scary? He's named Murphy because of Murphy's Law. Bigfoot researchers always encounter things that go wrong when they're bigfooting. David, did you know that Bigfoot is like bigfooting is a word, like researching your bigfooting? It is an indisputable fact that something is leaving large human-like footprints in the wilds of North America. What is leaving those tracks is up for debate. Many of these footprints are discovered in accident in remote areas. Sometimes the prints are photographed or cast in plaster to preserve a record of the find. This is an Olympic Peninsula nesting site. A timber company employee was hiking off trail on a large piece of private timberland on the east side of the Olympic Peninsula in Washington, marking logging boundaries of an upcoming timber harvest. And this man, a veteran logger with decades of experience, ran across a strange-looking structure at the base of a tree that looked like a large nest of some kind. Within the next hour of hiking, he found 2 more nests before he decided to leave the area. The nests closely resemble gorilla ground nests made from materials from the Pacific Northwest rather than tropical Africa. So the logging company granted the Olympic project access to the area and postponed their logging operation for 5 years to give the researchers ample time to study the site. Over the next 6 months, a total of 23 nests were found along a half-mile stretch of ridge. 2 of these nests were found built a few feet off the ground. Squatch hair. Hair analysis and identification can be complex and labor-intensive process. So this bottle has, I don't know how, but it has the smell of what Bigfoot smells like. It's been long noted that Sasquatches smell bad. So these are samples of broken, twisted trees, like apes would do. From videos to footprint castings, from nests to twisted branches, there was so much interesting information at the museum, much of which we had never heard about before. Well, if you're a believer or not, it was certainly an interesting and informative stop. What did you think of it, Daniel?
Scary, and I think Bigfoots are actually real. I think it was true.
What's true?
Bigfoot.
I found all the international evidence interesting. Apparently there's been sightings of different, like, snowmen in the Himalayas.
Yeah, the Yeti is Tibet.
And the cliff, the owner even went to China and did some studies there.
And met somebody there. Yeah, it talked about one in Australia. I forget where else. But yeah. Interesting stop. Headed to a little 5-minute detour stop.
Growing restless in the wind, searching for a brighter day.
This is Jonsrud Viewpoint, and it says on this sign that it's a photographer's paradise, except for today when I wanted to take pictures of Mount Hood. Mount Hood is supposed to be in the middle here, and it is 11,249 foot stratovolcano that is very active, and it is the highest peak in Oregon, and I was really excited to see it. And there's no mountain today because it's socked in. Beautiful views on a beautiful weather day, not today.
So this is the end of the Oregon Trail. The Barlow Road was a toll road that was constructed to help make an easier route to finish the Oregon Trail and miss much of the Columbia River. It was from 1846.
And where is Devil's Backbone?
Up on the ridge over to the left.
And that was the final leg of the Oregon Trail.
When I saw something heavenly,
Whoa, the trees are so tall here. They're so As an introduction to the Mount Hood area, we stopped at the free Mount Hood Cultural Center and Museum in Government Camp, which was formerly a camp along the Oregon Trail's Barlow Road. Whoa, there is snow right here in Government Camp. Mount Hood actually has the longest ski resort season of any in the entire U.S. It is open year-round up at Timberline Lodge. Excited to be here at Mount Hood. Never been here before, even though we've seen it from a distance years ago. It was fun looking at all the Mount Hood memorabilia and learning about its history, mostly related to the ski industry and snow, because the area gets a lot of the white fluffy stuff.
So as a 5'10" male, my ski size would be 7'2" tall.
Downhill skiing first began in the Mount Hood area around 1900, followed by ski jumping, and the ski industry grew each year as equipment became more available and technology improved. The area has been a powder hound's paradise ever since. Mount Hood's first ski area, Summit, opened in 1927, and now there are 6 ski areas here that often rank as the snowiest ones nationwide.
To live and not ski is a sad life, but to ski, this is to be alive. Hajj Almer Heaven.
And do you believe that quote?
Depends.
Look at this aerial bus. It literally looks like a bus that's a chairlift. It's from 1951. The aerial tram was basically 2 modified city buses. Because they weighed so much, it was a slow 25-minute trip one way up the mountain for the 72 riders, making it not very cost-effective. And by 1957, there were already discussions of replacing the buses with a movable cable system of 30 to 40 cars.
We are headed up to Timberline Lodge to see something spectacular, whether that be just Timberline Lodge or if we luck out, get a sneak peek at Mount Hood. We'll see. It's very cloudy, but maybe if we get closer, we'll have a better opportunity to see it.
The Timberline Lodge sits at 6,000 feet elevation. So from there, it's another almost 6,000 feet up to climb Mount Hood. The lodge is 55,000 square feet. I don't know how many rooms it has, but it has a lot. I looked at booking a reservation there, and there was like only one room left, and it had 14 bunks in it. I figured we didn't need to stay there. The temperatures are cooling off, and there's a bit of snow along the road. Foretastes of what's to come. The Timberline ski area right up at the Timberline Lodge gets approximately 415 inches of snow per year. It has one of the deepest and most reliable snowpacks on the continent, and the longest vertical feet, 4,540 to be exact, of any other ski area in the country. The area is a hiking paradise as well, but not this time of year. There are more than a half a dozen trails that leave out of Timberline Lodge, but later in July is a better time for hiking those after the snow melts more. Sadly, we would not be doing any alpine hikes today. It is pretty cold. I don't know what temperature, but it feels like freezing. But there's more humidity here, so I don't know. We couldn't come to the area without checking out Timberline Lodge, an architectural marvel that was constructed as part of the Works Progress Administration of the Great Depression. The lodge is a unique masterpiece with a hexagon head house with 2 wings coming off of it. The oddly shaped entrance door alone was such a whimsically fun way to enter the lodge. The intentional, beautiful detailing of local textile, wood, stone, and iron artisans and craftsmen is apparent throughout the Cascadian-style lodge, blending nature with art in 3 themes: Native American, pioneer, and native flora and fauna. Depending upon the skill, the workers were paid 55 to 90 cents an hour, comparative to at least $10 to $15 an hour nowadays. Despite the lodge's enormous size, it has a real cozy feel. The main fireplace, constructed with 400 pounds of stone, has a 90 by 14 foot chimney stack weighing 800,000 pounds. Gilbert Stanley Underwood served as the architect. He also designed the lodges of Bryce Canyon, Zion, and Yosemite, and he was known for incorporating a rustic style that blended well with the landscape. And what an amazing job he did at Timberline. Of course, because of the harsh climate and high elevation, the lodge is regularly fixed and things replaced. In recent years, the U.S. Forest Service has provided more than $15 million to help with the preservation. Beautiful views from here, even on an overcast day.
All right, come on, let's go home. Come on. Come on. Now, I know I made you go back up.
As we were leaving, we got to see Heidi, number 9, one of 2 resident St. Bernards, who welcomes guests, a long-standing tradition since 1937.
Ready? You better get in there. Get in there. Good girl.
The bronze and brass weather vane on top is 750 pounds. The steep roof mimics the pitch of Mount Hood, the backdrop of this beautiful lodge. The summit of Mount Hood is only 3.5 miles away from the lodge, but it is a grueling climb requiring special gear like crampons and ice axes, and technical experience, including special footwork, rope systems, and self-arresting techniques. The climb is steep and exposed, with some sections leaving no room for air. This doesn't keep it from being popular, though. It is allegedly the 2nd most climbed glaciated peak in the world. The mountain is known for being particularly stormy, but the best time to climb is late spring to early summer. Snow and ice are part of its topography year-round, as it is home to 11 glaciers. I guess this is all we're going to see of Mount Hood today. Just socked in. Tamanawas Falls, which is about 40 minutes away from Timberline Lodge. You need a pass to hike this trail, and thankfully the annual Parks Pass comes to the rescue again. We are starting our hike for the day at Mount Hood Wilderness, and it is 5:30. There's a sign that there's more water ahead, like in a waterfall. Look at these big logs. They've used these big logs for the bridge. They're huge. Tamanawas. Tamanawas.
I think it's Tamanawas.
The boys are such good hikers and are most usually content to walk and talk the entire time. It definitely helps kids to have a sibling companion along for the hiking adventure. Oh no, there's mud, Steve. Since we hiked at Ecola State Park, I think I have an aversion to mud. We've just gone over a few tiny mud patches, but I kind of cringe when I see mud now.
Yeah, we still have Ecola State Park's mud on our boots, everybody.
Yes, although it's dried now.
Because we know it makes us new. No matter when.
So we picked this hike instead of another local hike that went to a lake that's supposed to have a nice reflection of Mount Hood because it is overcast and socked in, and we figured we had better odds of seeing a waterfall when there's plenty of water, but not Mount Hood when there's plenty of clouds. Wow, 2 trees fell over here. That's crazy. It's like parting of the trees. More mud. Oh my. This trail is great. It follows the creek. At least on the first part. It's very loud, but very soothing and scenic.
No matter what, I have a place to go. When it's you and I.
That was a fresh break.
Crazy break.
For sure. Gnarly.
We walk this road, it takes us home where love is true. We walk this road because we know it makes us.
I think it is sprinkling. This is the rock section, I'm guessing.
No matter what, I have a place to go. When you're by my side, I always know. When it's you and I'm always home. place to go. When it's you and I'm always home. When you're by my side, I'm always low. When it's you and
Close. Look at the blue dot, boys. We've come all that way and we just have that little bit and we're at the waterfall. I see the waterfall through the trees. You can really feel the cold air coming off the waterfall. It feels a lot colder up here.
Got it.
110-foot Tamanawas, one of Oregon's top waterfalls, was absolutely magical as it thundered down the striking lava cliff. Its name comes from the Chinook word meaning friendly guardian spirit. This whole area is wet from the mist coming off of the waterfall. It's crazy. It's like a fog of water coming down. It's amazing. A great way to end our Oregon trip. We're not on the coast, but this is beautiful Oregon still.
growing restless in the wind, searching for a brighter day, leaving yesterday behind.
That was really beautiful, really beautiful. And it's so green and lush here. And the mud was not bad at all. There was only a couple little tiny sections of mud.
Neat waterfall, nice little short hike, nice way to end the trip, get out and stretch our legs before the long drive home.
And the 3.5 miles was not bad. Granted, we're not done yet, but it felt quick and easy. And the rocky section that some people post about was no problem. Definitely manageable even without poles. It was not bad at all. We only saw a couple people the entire time, but we got to enjoy the waterfall. Just us, right?
Yeah, a couple people came up, but they just peeked at it and left. It is pretty late in the day though.
Yep.
It's 7:30 right now.
We started heading down at 7:30, so we gotta find somewhere to make dinner before we make camp. Sure, it was definitely disappointing not being able to hike up higher by Mount Hood in early June, but the solitude and beauty of this hike made our journey to the area well worth our visit and definitely not a mistake, despite the poor weather. We're back.
That's your hiking, pal.
Yes.
Making dinner at our roadside dining hall here. At late o'clock.
I just looked at the clock. It's 8:35. Cup of noodles and roasted potatoes. We just need hot water. It's like we're backpacking. in the rain next to the highway by the trailhead. We pulled into our beautiful campsite last night around 10 o'clock, and the trees were beautiful. They were big trees, the biggest trees I've ever seen at any campground. It was gorgeous, but it was raining cats and dogs, and it was after we had driven through terrible fog, patchy fog. I've never seen like such weird, like random fog and rain for the last 30 minutes from our hiking area, and we were kind of done with the rain and everything, so we threw in the towel and we drove up the road to government camp and stayed at the Best Western, and we got a hot breakfast. Daddy's driving us somewhere. We don't know where. Or we're gonna spend the night somewhere. We don't know where. We had to cancel our reservations because we're coming back a day early because we don't want to be in the rain again. Because it's supposed to rain all day here. Actually, it's supposed to rain here for the next 5 days. We got out of the rain and drove ourselves to some blue skies and eventually home. From train cars to wind turbines. Your first time in where? Driving through rush hour in Caldwell, Idaho.
So it turns out all of the traffic was not a result of rush hour, but instead a result of a porta potty truck accident, which has traffic slowed for miles and miles. They wait for the waste to be cleared off of the highway.
From a porta potty accident on the road to manure fields along the road. It's raining bugs in Idaho. Bugs all over in Jerome, Idaho. These all just got on the window just now, like in the last few minutes.
I don't know, probably my worst night of sleep on the trip, but
And the cows were something else.
the cows were loud. The cows were having a little party or something.
From rolling hills to mountain peaks, from a semi-truck accident to a tank truck accident, there was plenty to capture our attention as we made the long journey home.
Welcome to Colorado.
Tamanawas. Take 2.
The slow traffic in Idaho was not a result of rush hour. It was a result of a porta potty accident.
A porta potty accident? That would be bad.
So, welcome to the Bigfoot Museum. We think we've discovered a new species of Bigfoot called Smallfoot. And we think we've also discovered Bigfoot because earlier when I was eating my butt, I saw the trees shaking. Then they stopped. and I saw them again. Then when I headed back once, I almost tripped over this wrapped up log. And we realized that at the museum, it talked about wrapped up logs were a sign of Bigfoot evidence. So we think there might have been a Bigfoot here. Also, we found stone footprints of a small foot, we think. We worked together to find these. And I think I found a knuckle thing for a small foot.
Oh, wow. Are these all footprints from a Bigfoot or a small foot?
We think this might be from a baby Bigfoot. A small
Whoa,
foot.
what a fine specimen. I guess we went Bigfooting on this hike, huh? We learned a new verb. Today we are interviewing junior Bigfoot specialists, David and Daniel. They have found some remarkable evidence and specimens of Bigfoot and possibly a small foot.
Stick. Wrapped around. We saw these at the museum. We do not know if Bigfoots were over here. We have one guess, 3 guesses. Number 1 evidence. No. Tree shaking. Yeah. Number 2, twisted logs. And number 3, feet. And one question. We want to discover more. We wanted to find more things. And what will Bigfoot do next? There's one question that we are all asking. Where is Bigfoot? And is he doing? And what will he do next?
Staying at the Urban James.
What is
Hitching
it?
Post
What is it?
campground
What is it?
in Snowville, Utah.
And who chose this?
I did $20. What a deal.
Because we didn't want to drive around at night and look for a campsite.
Forest Service campground.
Late,
in the dark.
'cause it's-
That's at least
It's
another
what,
hour. beyond this.
9:30? I think we should get the site by the blue light special. We could have the blue glow light all night.